Ganesha is an elephant-headed god. His energy dissolves obstacles of all kinds. Listen to the mantras and dissolve.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Human Evolution web series. Today our webinar is titled Get to Know Ganesha, and this is part of a larger series where we are highlighting Dr. Pillai's teachings across different avenues including Pillai Center, Astroved, Phonemic Intelligence, and Nambu Botanicals. So today we are all about Ganesha, and we are getting started just a little bit late, but thank you for sticking with us on this journey to get to know Ganesha. So let's get started. The intention of this presentation is for you to get to know Ganesha. If you're new to Ganesha, this is an opportune time to learn a few techniques and a few characteristics about this divine being who can help you change all areas of your life. If you are very familiar with Ganesha, then it's an opportunity to review things and to discover new things. As Dr. Pillai is always teaching us, there are layers and there's more and more to learn about all of these archetypes, so it's time to dive in and get to know Ganesha a little better. Hopefully this will be an engaging presentation for you, and if you want to, you can take notes to help you with your own practice. You can participate in a short meditation that I will share with you in the middle of the presentation. I think you've already used the comments area below the video, so keep posting there or ask your questions as they come up, and we will have a question and answer session at the end, so please use that area. So we start actually with the teacher. Dr. Bhaskaran Pillai is a spiritual leader. He's a scholar and a mystic from the Tamil Siddha tradition in southern India. And Pillai Center for Mind Science is his educational website where teachings on archetypes such as Ganesha are housed and shared with the public. And it is through his blessings and divine grace that we're here learning about Ganesha, and that it's most relevant at this time in 2016 to receive these teachings. So it's with great gratitude that we offer these tips for you today, following through on Dr. Pillai's teachings. And the later part of the webinar will actually introduce his most current teachings that have to do with Ganesha, and will give you an opportunity to learn how you can participate in these teachings with Dr. Pillai. And very briefly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Sarah and I work at Pillai Center. I facilitate some of Dr. Pillai's online programs, and I'm very happy to be here, even if we started a bit late. I'm happy to join you and go through these techniques to help you understand who Ganesha is and to bring him into your life, especially at this very important time in April of 2016. So who is Ganesha? Ganesha is most commonly known by his form. He has an elephant head and a human body, and he's one of the most beloved archetypes in the Indian tradition, but he extends beyond India and is found in cultures all over the world in different ancient ways of experiencing the divine. And the elephant is very significant. Dr. Pillai often references his elephant head and the intelligence of an elephant, the compassion of an elephant, the power. So one way to know who Ganesha is through this beautiful, majestic form. The other very common way to know Ganesha is as the remover of obstacles. So our beginning of this webinar is most likely no accident that we face obstacles in sharing this information with you and using the techniques to actually bring Ganesha's energy through to clear obstacles in your path. He, as the remover of obstacles, is always the being or the divine archetype who comes first. So if you are ever starting a project, beginning your meditation, if you go to a sacred power spot or a temple, Ganesha comes first, and it's very clear that when you invoke Ganesha, he's able to clear these obstacles, and Dr. Pillai's even referenced him recently as the gateway to the other divine beings. So you always want to start things with Ganesha. And through this ability to remove obstacles, he also can deliver super intelligence. And this is a key area we're going to focus on today because it's one of these great gifts, and Ganesha can really change your life through super intelligence. And finally, I wanted you to know he is associated with the root chakra, or the Muladhara, which is at your the base of your spine or the tailbone. And this area is important if you're familiar with the chakras in the subtle body, even in your physical body, to have a connection where Ganesha can actually help you stay grounded and root you, again, coming first. And it will play a role in the meditation you experience today. So it's just another way to associate Ganesha's energy. So now that you know who he is, what can he do for you? And this brings us back to the superintelligence, a phrase Dr. Pillai has used quite regularly in describing Ganesha. Very recently, he's done so many videos on Ganesha because he's really important at this time. And the superintelligence is beyond what we think of as our human intellect, that has limitation, and it has boundaries to our own logic and what we can perceive as humans. But Ganesha is using superintelligence from the divine source, so he can see and know and experience everything in the exact moment he needs to. And by doing this, he can act as a problem solver. So a lot of our suffering as human beings comes when we face problems, and Ganesha's help can come in and remove those problems. And this directly leads to our personal relationships. So he can improve relationships because he removes these obstacles. And they're so critical in our lives to relate to our family, our coworkers, our friends, our significant others. And bringing Ganesha into your relationships will help bring more empathy, more compassion, more understanding, so that you enjoy your relationships and they continue to grow. And part of his superintelligence also is to condense time so that you remove delay. And delays or postponements cause a lot of our problems as well. And so Ganesha is taking these out of the picture so you get things done fast and you experience results. And that's when you release the uncertainty and you bring in clarity so you know what to do in every given moment. And all of these things combined really create shortcuts to success. And if you, again, watch several of Dr. Pillai's teachings on Ganesha, he uses this phrase, shortcuts to success, because it really completely describes what Ganesha can do for you. And if you think of how important your desires and your goals are and achieving what you want in life, Ganesha can help you get there the easiest and fastest way. So now that you know who he is and what he can do, how do you make this happen? And this is where Dr. Pillai's teachings come into our daily lives, to give you practical tips to create a personal relationship to Ganesha. So as this divine archetype, if you begin to connect with his energy and open yourself up to receiving his gifts, you can make big transformations in your life. And the 4 ways I want to touch on today are through sounds, stories, rituals, and meditation. And again, these are very simple techniques that come from years of Dr. Pillai's teachings that I want you to be able to take away today after this presentation. So let's start with sounds. So the sound for Ganesha that I want to share with you today is gum. And it sounds just like it's spelled. For those of you who are English speakers, it's gum. And it's what's called a seed sound, or a bija. And there's a quote up on the screen from Dr. Pillai about the power of seed sounds. And they're very small frequencies of sound, but they come with tremendous power. They really have a punch. And the analogy of a seed is very relevant if you think of a small seed that you plant in the ground that is nurtured and can grow into a beautiful, big, enormous tree, like a huge oak tree or a big sequoia tree. It all stems from this tiny little seed. The same is true of sounds, which are the basis for all of our thoughts. So this sound is completely filled with the power of Ganesha. So the more time you spend with this sound, the more you chant it or listen to it or write it, the more you're in Ganesha's energy, in the consciousness of Ganesha. You'll tap into that super intelligence and you'll be able to bring Ganesha into your life. So what I want to do now is just give you a sample of this sound, and it's actually audio that you can download currently on Pillai Center for free. And in addition to gum, the seed sound, Dr. Pillai adds the primordial universal sound Om at the beginning. So the mantra you're going to hear is Om Gum, and it'll be repeated a few times. So just either chant along if you like, or just let the sound vibrations move through you and let yourself experience that frequency of Ganesha's energy.
Om Gham. Om Gham. Om Gham. Om Gham. Om.
So just take a moment with the sound and again let yourself feel the energy of Om Gum moving through you. I highly recommend that you access this sound. It's a mantra loop, again as a free download on Pillai Center, which is repeated 108 times, so you can play it, chant along with it, or have it playing in the background while you do other things. Now the sound leads us into stories. Another way you can connect with Ganesha is by learning about him through stories. And there's a phrase Dr. Pillai uses that is mythotherapy, and it has to do with powerful stories that aren't simply stories. They actually contain energies that can affect your consciousness, that you can actually make a direct connection with an archetype such as Ganesha through the story, through the experience of the story. And there are so many of these about Ganesha because he's so critical to so many of the stories, especially coming out of India. And again, Dr. Pillai has mentioned these. Sometimes he gives small snippets of them in his videos, or in bigger programs he'll go into more depth about these stories with Ganesha. But they really give you something to connect to. When you hear this story, there's a lesson in it for Ganesha. There's always a lesson in it for you as well. So I invite you to explore the stories, the mythotherapy of Ganesha. You can view all of Dr. Pillai's Ganesha videos on his Pillai Center YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist for Ganesha videos that you may be interested in. And you can also explore stories of Ganesha on your own. There are many, many videos. There are animations Dr. Pillai has encouraged people to watch. There's actual stories in books that you can read. So have some fun, do some research, and really let yourself go into the stories and gain more insight and again more connection to Ganesha. And actually out of these stories come a lot of great symbols and sacred objects, which then can be used in rituals for Ganesha. So there are a few that have been mentioned by Dr. Pillai very recently, including Ganesha grass or Durva grass. Coconuts have been a sacred item for Ganesha, many of you know. Mangoes are mentioned, and then symbolically we'll also go back to the color and the root chakra of Ganesha, which you'll experience in this meditation with Dr. Pillai. So when you're actually doing rituals for Ganesha, it's important to know his power times. So these are things you can do every single day, and we'll go over a simple daily practice you can have for Ganesha, but there are some times that are highlighted. These are called power times, and they're associated with different phases of the moons that they amplify, they magnify the energy of Ganesha, where he's more available to come and help you. And specifically on these moon phases, he's there to remove obstacles and to bring you that super intelligence. So traditionally, Ganesha is associated with the fourth moon, and even more specifically the fourth waning moon, but you can honor and invoke Ganesha on both the waxing and waning moon. So the fourth moon is one that you want to remember as Ganesha's moon. And then in the last 3 months or 4 months, Dr. Pillai has revealed the importance of the 14th moon phase. So this is the moon right before either the full moon or the new moon, also has tremendous power for Ganesha, and you want to use this power time to connect with him. So how do you do this? You can use the Ashtabed calendar to mark these days down. Again, you can do both the waxing and waning. So there'll be a waxing and a waning fourth moon every month, and a waxing and a waning 14th moon every month that you want to mark down in your calendar. And mark those days as Ganesha days, days to do the rituals or the meditations or use the sounds for Ganesha. And once you know his power times, you can use these sacred objects such as durva grass to do offerings for Ganesha. This is a very sacred grass that has long been connected with Ganesha as well. So if you go to places, especially in southern India, they're always putting grass on Ganesha statues and offering it to him. It's a very sacred grass that also has a lot of healing and medicinal properties, as well as just being a sacred offering. So how can you use this? Again, you can note those really important power times of the 4th and 14th moon, or you can do this on a daily basis where you simply are giving a little bit of the grass to a statue, if you have a Ganesha statue, or a yantra, which is a geometrical shape that carries the energy of Ganesha, and it's inscribed into a metal plate. So often they're copper plates that conduct energy, and with this specific geometry for Ganesha, it's radiating his energy. But if you don't have either of those, you can simply use a picture, and there are so many beautiful pictures of Ganesha available that you can have one of those and connect to him through that form again. The next ritual that I wanted to mention has to do with a mango, because this is a very important fruit to Ganesha. It's also something that is fun to offer. There's a great story, and this is where we connect back to the mythotherapy. And Dr. Pillai has told this story several times in videos, and if you've seen him in person, you may have heard this story. It's a competition between Ganesha and his brother Muruga, and the winner gets a mango. And I won't spoil the story. I'll have you go out and explore and hear it yourself so that you can receive the teaching from Ganesha in this story. But the mango fruit is very sacred to Ganesha and something you can offer. So if you're able to buy a mango at the grocery store where you live, you can do it on special occasions, again, the 4th or 14th moon. Or if you live in a place where they're very accessible, you can do it on a regular basis, and you can offer this this lovely sweet fruit to Ganesha. And finally, I want to talk about coconuts as a very important part of rituals for Ganesha as well. And specifically, what the coconut can do is take negativity out of you. It can remove your obstacles. So it acts as a bit of a sacrifice, that it absorbs whatever is holding you back or is a burden in your life that's creating the problem or the delay. And then once you transfer it to the coconut, you break the coconut and you dissolve that obstacle and you do away with it through the blessing of Ganesha. Again, it's something you can do every day if you have access to coconuts, or you want to mark those 4th and 14th moons and make sure you do coconut breaking on those moons. Now recently, Dr. Pillai shared a teaching with the coconut breaking and said if you don't have access to the real fruit, which can be quite expensive or hard to find depending on where you live in the world, you can actually visualize the ritual. So you can follow these steps and just visualize yourself taking the coconut, and what you actually do is you roll it over your head, your shoulders, your throat area, and you imagine that the coconut's absorbing all of your obstacles or your negative karma that is causing you these issues in your life, once the coconut absorbs those, then you visualize yourself throwing it down so it splits all the way, it just smashes to pieces, and you're done with that obstacle or those obstacles in your life. And then you give thanks to Ganesha for taking away these obstacles. Now, one quick note, if you're doing this with a real coconut, you want to discard all of the pieces of the coconut. So once you break it, you throw it away in the garbage. So those are rituals that you can do with symbols very profound and sacred to Ganesha. And you can also do meditations on Ganesha. So we've gone through sounds, stories, and rituals. And Dr. Pillai has given many meditations. Again, on his YouTube videos just for Ganesha, he often gives short meditations that you can do to make this personal connection with Ganesha, to bring him in your life so that you're removing obstacles and accessing his super intelligence. Beyond that, you can also experience meditations on Ganesha through the different programs Dr. Pillai has created, which are on Pillai Center, the Academy site where all of his online courses are, and they almost all contain some aspect of Ganesha because, again, he comes first, he removes the obstacles, he opens the doorway to this greater intelligence and can connect you to other divine archetypes. But to give you a taste of something simple you can do as a meditation for Ganesha, it doesn't have to be too long, but it's a way to connect with his energy. And again, it's something you can do when you need to clear obstacles. You need to start your day, you need to begin a special project, you're just feeling stuck or stressed or frustrated during your day. You can use a meditation like the one we're about to do, and Ganesha can come in and clear out those problems. So this is about a 3-minute meditation I'm going to play for you. It gives you a sense of Ganesha's power. It lets you hear Dr. Pillai give the teaching, so the energy is very deep coming through Dr. Pillai's voice. So just take a moment and prepare yourself to receive this meditation. And once we finish, I'll come back and finish up the presentation with more tips, but use this time, again it's 3 minutes, just to get to know Ganesha on a very deep level of meditation.
Close your eyes. Put your attention on your tailbone or the coccygeal, the root chakra, the bottom of the spine. Just visualize twilight red, orangey red. And visualize the orangey red emanating from the bottom of the spine and then filling the entire body. This orangey light represents Ganesha and brings him into your body, mind, and the soul. It's a specific intelligence that puts down all uncertainty, duality, confusion, and gives you clarity. That's all due to the mind. And say, Om Gam. Om Gham. Om Gham. Om Gham. You say it every time you start the practice. Om Gham. Om Gham. Om Gham. And then visualize the elephant-headed god, Ganapati or Ganesha. This is the password to call him Gam, and then visualize a light that starts from the bottom of the spine and then shoots into the brain. It goes through the chakras and goes into the brain to this crown chakra. and then visualize the orangey red. Now pray to him to clear all duality, uncertainty, and ask for clarity and unity. And visualize the orangey red everywhere. Now you can slowly come back to yourself and open your eyes.
So take a moment to come back from that meditation. Again, Dr. Pillai incorporated the root chakra and the color. He called it orangey red, to Ganeshas, a color that you can use if you need to have a color visualization or a colored light to help you call upon Ganesha. It's a deep orangey red color, and again, feeling his presence at the root chakra, your tailbone area. And then the sounds Om Gam. So the sounds that are available to you in the mantra download are really powerful, and you can use them as just sounds to chant to, but it's also incorporated in this meditation, which in just 3 minutes you have a profound connection to Ganesha that again removes that uncertainty and brings clarity so that you can make really important, smart decisions based on his super intelligence to help you with whatever endeavor you're facing or starting in your day. So now quickly I just want to recap those ways to make Ganesha more integrated, to bring him into your life, to bring him to life, so you have this personal connection with him and that you're able to receive his gifts of clearing obstacles, receiving that high-level intelligence, knowing what to do in any given moment, and having really great results. He's fast and he has good results, and that's very important to Dr. Pillai's teachings, to have results, to do these things so that you actually are changing all areas of your life. So if you want a quick practice that you can do in less than 10 minutes a day, these are just some simple tips, but they can profoundly change your life. So using the mantra or the seed sound Om Gam, you can even say it just 3 times, and I recommend starting your day with it, because Ganesha again comes first. He clears the obstacles, so why not start every day by invoking Ganesha, bringing him into your life and feeling his presence. And then you can meditate on Ganesha. It can even be less than 5 minutes like the one we just did, but it can transform you into a different space where you have greater clarity, you're tapped into that intelligence, and again, you know how to make decisions, the right decision in the right moment. And if you have a statue, a yantra, or a picture, one simple offering you can do is to light a lamp, a ghee lamp, or a candle. And as you do it, you can ask for Ganesha to be present, to remove obstacles, and to, again, act as your problem solver through his own super intelligence. And altogether, these steps would just take you, less than 10 minutes. You can do that in the morning, and everyone can make a commitment to that. And this is one way to, again, use Ganesha's gifts. He is so present and accessible to humans right now, and he wants to help you. So if you do these things to invite him into your life, he will come and help you remove those obstacles, so you start getting and manifesting what you want in all areas, in your job, in your relationships, in your health, in your own spiritual practice. He can be your guiding light all throughout the day. And then again, there's those power times, the 4th and 14th moon. So you always want to honor Ganesha on these days. I put up here Hora Watch, which is an Astraved app. It's a great application to have on a phone or a tablet that gives you all of the power time information. So you can always find the 4th or the 14th moon. You can also find them on the Asheved calendar, or you can even look them up on the internet, but making note of these will make a huge difference in your life. You can do the offering of Durva grass or Ganesha grass on these days, a mango. You can break coconuts. Again, if you have access to these sacred items, you can do them any day, but you could do them on the 4th and 14th moons, sort of a minimum practice to really solidify that connection with Ganesha and bring him into your life so that you feel his presence and you are starting to remove those obstacles.